So what do we do? Or where do I like to approach things of a problem like this? Well, you could get common denominators and then create a proportion. That's not a bad idea. Because you could put x, you could multiply by x over 1 times x over 1 and then combine them and then do a proportion. But my thought process is I just want to get the greatest common denominator of all of my fractions. And then I can multiply everything by that and just focus on the numerators. So if I look at the LCD, you can see I have a 1 here. This is x plus 1. And this can actually be factored into an x times x plus 1. So in my opinion, or not my opinion, I know the LCD in this case is x times a x plus 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create that denominator for each of one of mine. Now remember, to create equivalent fractions, whatever you do in the denominator, you have to do in the numerator. So over here, I already have an x plus 1. So I'm just going to multiply by an x. Whatever you do in the denominator, make sure you do in the numerator. And then over here, I don't have anything. So I'm going to multiply that times an x plus 1. And then x times an x plus 1. Now, it might be easier in this example just to not write it in the expanded form or the factor form, but write it in the expanded form, which is an x squared plus x. And I'm not sure why I didn't do that. So we're going to do it here. Okay. So let's write that as a x squared plus x. That's going to multiply here in the numerator as well as in the denominator. Okay. So what is that going to give us? Well, that's going to give me a 2x squared plus 2x all over a x squared plus x minus a x over, if you multiply that, that's going to be a x squared plus x, and then equal to a 1 over a x squared plus x. Now you could multiply everything times x squared plus x, and what would happen is you'd get rid of all your denominators. So that's just going to leave me with my numerator, which is a 2x squared plus 2x minus x equals 1. Now I recognize this is a quadratic, and we know when we're dealing with quadratics, we always want to go ahead and set it equal to 0. So I'll subtract a 1 over to the other side, and I get a 2x squared plus 8x is equal, minus 1. Minus 1 is equal to 0.